Welcome back to Commander on Curve. This week I'm bringing you something crazy. See all these dice? Look at this mess. It's gotta mean something, right? What is that? Oh my. What the? It's our commander for the week? Oh man, why can't I get it up? This is crazy. The dice must have been holding it down. Boom! Rakdos, the Showstopper. He's a 6/6 for 6 mana flying trample. When Rakdos, the Showstopper, enters the battlefield, flip a coin for each creature that isn't a demon, devil, or imp. Destroy each creature whose coin comes up tails. Wow. I found this in my bulk, and I thought this would be a cool deck. I literally made this week. Now, the deck is all about flipping coins. All the cards I had that said flip a coin are in the deck. Not many. But then I thought I have a lot of cards from Baldur's Gate and Dungeons and Dragons and all that good stuff. So I found every card I had that had to do with rolling dice, and I made this wonderful red and black Rakdos deck all about stealing your opponent's stuff, sacrificing it for drawing cards and or doing damage, and just some random chance that might negatively affect us, but it might not. We have some creatures that involve flipping coins and rolling dice. Let's talk about it. We have here Krark the Thumbless. He's a 2/2 that says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, return that spell to its owner's hand. If you win the flip, copy it and you may choose new targets for the copy. That could be pretty cool. We have some sacrifice stuff like Fling in here or Thud, one of those two, because I had to make room for some other cards. But those deal damage. Imagine being able to flip a coin and boom, smack someone's face with double. We have here the Chaos Dragon. This thing's cool. It's a 4/4 flying in haste. It attacks each combat, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, each player rolls a d20. If one or more opponents had the highest result, it can't attack those players or planeswalkers they control this combat. So you're kind of putting it in everybody else's court and the luck of their dice rolls. And we have here a Lightfoot Rogue. It is a 2/1 with sneak attack. Whenever it attacks, roll a d20. 1 through 9 gains death touch until end of turn. 10 through 19, it gets a +1 buff and death touch. Natural 20, it gets +3 first strike and death touch until end of turn. That's pretty cool. I like it. Next up, we have the Chaos Channeler. He has the ability Wild Magic Surge. Whenever Chaos Channeler attacks, roll a d20. 1 through 9, exile the top card of your library, you may play it this turn. 10 through 19, exile the top 2 cards of your library, you may play them this turn. Or, nat 20, exile the top 3 cards of your library, you may play them this turn. Taking chances left and right. Next up, we have the Hoarding Ogre. It's a 3/3. Whenever it attacks, I'm noticing a theme here. Roll a d20. 1 through 9, create a treasure. 10 through 19, 2 treasures. Nat 20, 3 treasures. We got some high mana value cards in here. Those treasures will come in handy. Plus, the deck makes a pretty good amount of treasures. Next up on our list, we have the Two-Headed Giant. Whenever it attacks, flip 2 coins. If both come up heads, it gains double strike until end of turn. If both coins come up tails, this gains menace until end of turn. So, that's pretty sweet. Good luck to your opponents, because this is wild. Lastly, for the dice rollers, we have the Herald of Hadar. 4/4 for 5. Circle of Death. Pay 5 and a red. Roll a d20. 1 through 9, each opponent loses 2 life. 10 through 19, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. 20, each opponent loses 2, you gain 2, and create 2 treasure tokens. That's cool. As for the rest of the creatures, they all just do good stuff. Black and red are great color combinations. We have here Kedis Emberclaw Familiar. Whenever a commander you control deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. Note this, whenever a commander you control So, say we gain control of our opponent's commanders, then those will do double damage, or that much damage to each opponent. So, a little thing some people don't realize. Doesn't have to be your commander. But Rakdos being a 6/6 is pretty awesome, especially with flying and trample. Next up on our list, we have the Relic Robber. Whenever Relic Robber deals combat damage to a player, they create a 0/1 colorless Goblin Construct artifact creature token with this creature can't block, and at the beginning of your upkeep, this creature does 1 damage to you. It's a 2/2 for 3 mana, but let me tell you, everyone gets pissed off when they get those little construct that pings them for 1 every turn. That's just annoying, but it's great. Next up is the Sin Prodder. 3/2 with Menace. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library. Any opponent may have you put that card into your graveyard. Holy cow, that's loud. If a player does, Sin Prodder deals damage to that player equal to the card's converted mana cost. Otherwise, put that card into your hand. It's pretty nifty. Next up, we have the Coastline Marauders. It's a 0/3 with Trample, but whenever it attacks, it gets a +1/+0 until end of turn for each land defending player controls. And it has Encore, so if we discard it, we can play it from our graveyard, create a token copy that attacks that opponent. For each opponent, there you go. And it gains haste, and they get sacrificed. So that's pretty awesome. And we have some cards that can sacrifice our own creatures to gain value and get either damage or card draw. So reusable, good stuff. Mahadi Emporium Master. I think this card is pretty cool. It's a cat devil, so it's in line with the whole like demons, devils, whatever. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each creature that died this turn. There's some free money for us, because we're going to be sacrificing a lot of creatures. Next on our list is Shadowheart Dark Justiciar. Maybe. It's 3/4. Pay 1 and a black, tap it, sacrifice another creature. Here we go. Draw X cards, where X is that creature's power. So if we're encoring something, and say that thing's a 6/4, 6/3, whatever, we're going to gain 6 cards off of a token that would have already died at the end of our combat. 6 cards. And we have Hell's Caretaker. You can tap this guy, sacrifice a creature, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only during your upkeep. That's interesting. I like it. Captivating Crew. It's a 4-drop, it's a 4/3. You can pay 3 and red, gain control of target creature and opponent controls. Untap it, it gains haste. Activate this ability only when you could do a sorcery. So essentially we get an act of treason on a body. It costs 1 extra, but it's a little mana dump. Plus, if this sticks around, we can just use other people's decks against them. Another cool card that has to do with other people's lands. The Elturel Survivors. 0/4 Trample Myriad, so when you attack with this, it creates a copy of itself that attacks another or each other opponent if able. As long as this is attacking, it gets +X/+0, where X is the number of lands defending player controls. Early game, not too powerful. Late game, powerful. Next up, we have Filth. I think it's a cool looking card. 2/2 Swamp Walk. As long as Filth is in your graveyard and you control a swamp, creatures you control have Swamp Walk. So that's pretty friggin' amazing. And yeah, if we have a discard for any reason, we can give all of our stuff Swamp Walk, because we definitely will control a swamp. Next up, we have Carder Doomscourge. It's a 4/3. Whenever he enters the battlefield, it basically gives every creature your opponents control Goad. And whenever an attacking creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So, it's pretty good, because, creatures are going to die. Next up on our list, we have Raphael Fiendish Savior. It's a 4/4 with flying. Thank goodness the laundry stopped. Other demons, devils, imps, and tieflings you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature card was put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, create a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. Plus, I think the card looks cool. The High Society Hunter. It's a 5/3 with flying. Whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Whenever another non-token creature dies, draw a card. We're just going to have death everywhere. Sir Conrad the Grim, he's alright. Just kidding, he's a good card. Whenever another creature dies, or a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, wow, that's a lot of text, he deals 1 damage to each opponent. You can pay 1 into black and make each player mill a card. So, with all of that good stuff, we're going to be sacrificing creatures. And he's going to be doing the Lord's work. Next up in the 5-drop category, Urabrask the Hidden. Your creatures have haste, and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped, which is rough because all of our stealing spells untap the creatures that we steal, so it's pretty awesome. The Furball Flautist. Should be Flautist. Oh well. It's a 4/4 that has an interesting ability. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature you don't control till end of turn. Untap it. There you go. It gains haste and myriad until end of turn. That's pretty cool. I put a couple myriad stuff in here because I thought it would be cool to hit people with a multiple of their own creatures. But we'll see what happens. And this is our big bomber right here. A Massacre Worm. It's a 6/5, and when it enters a battlefield, creatures your opponent's control get -2/-2 until end of turn. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life. So we are definitely going to abuse this. We can bring it back from our graveyard. We can just drop it. We can sacrifice it for lots of cards, vice versa. And whenever our opponent's creatures die, they lose 2 life. And with Sir Conrad out, they lose more life, and then we can fling something huge at them, and they lose more life. So. We have in the deck a couple of enchantments. I think this is pretty cool because it has landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, put a quest counter on Quest for Necropolis. Pay 5 in a black, sacrifice this, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. This costs 1 less for each quest counter on the Quest for the Necropolis. Activate only as a sorcery. So this doesn't get exiled, which is really interesting. So I might put some stuff in here to be able to reanimate it. Anyways, from a graveyard. Those are the keywords there. Not just yours, anyone's. Fungal Fortitude. If we have our commander out or one of our cards is really important, we can flash this in. Give it a +2/+0 buff, and if it dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. So, kind of gonna try to save our good stuff from getting killed off in case we're doing really well. We have here the Chance Encounter. Whenever you win a coin flip, put a luck counter on Chance Encounter. So, if there's a lot of creatures out when we have Rakdos and we start flipping coins, this could be really cool. At the beginning of your upkeep, if this has 10 or more luck counters on it, you win the game. Oh, should be pretty easy. And Mirror March. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, flip a coin until you lose a flip. For each flip you won, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Those tokens gain haste. Exile them at the beginning of the next end step. That's awesome. It says whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control. So, these are going to be the non-legendary creatures that we drop that just do crazy stuff. And we're going to try to make copies of them, so hopefully your thumb is feeling good. To the artifacts, we have a Blade of Selves. Equipped creature has Myriad. So equip 4, kind of steep, but I thought it'd be fun to be hitting people with their own creatures. Swiftfoot Boots. Equipped creature has Hexproof and Haste. Fellowar Stone. Add 1 mana of any color land an opponent controls. Sword of Hours. Oh look, a dice roll. Whenever equipped creature attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage, roll a d12. If the result is greater than the damage dealt or the result is 12, double the number of 1/1 counters on that creature. Equip 2. That's pretty awesome. Rolling a d12 and we're going to benefit regardless. The Chaos Wand. We get to pay 4, tap it, target opponent exiles cards on the top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery card. We may cast it without paying its mana cost. Then, The exiled cards that weren't cast get put in the bottom of that library in a random order. Still a little bit of disruption. People are playing some good decks. Why don't they share? The treasure chest. You can drop this for 3, pay 4 and sacrifice it. Roll a d20. 1. You lose 3 life. 2 through 9. Create 5 treasure tokens. 10 through 19. You gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. And 20. Search your library for a card. If it's an artifact, you may put it on the battlefield. Otherwise, put that card into your hand, then shuffle. It's almost a tutor, but regardless, unless you suck at rolling dice, you're going to get something awesome out of it. The component pouch. 3-drop. Tap it, remove a component counter from component pouch, add 2 mana of different colors. Tap it and roll a d20. 1 through 9, put a component counter on the pouch. 10 through 20, put 2 component counters on the pouch. A little bit of ramp, and the effectiveness of that ramp depends on our dice rolling skills. Primal Amulet. This makes our instant and sorcery spells cost 1 less, and when we cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on it. Then if there are 4 or more charge counters on it, you may remove those counters and transform it. This thing transforms into a land that lets us add 1 mana of any color to our mana pool. And when we use that to cast an instant or sorcery, it gets copied. And we may choose new targets for the copy. So if we're playing some of our gain control of target creature, we can copy it and do it twice and gain control of 2 target creatures. So, fantastic. And last but not least, the Lithoform Engine. 4-drop legendary artifact, pay 2, tap it, copy target activated or triggered ability you control, you may choose new targets. Pay 3, tap it, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control, you may choose new targets. 4, tap it, copy target permanent spell you control. So that's pretty sweet, especially if we can copy some of our big heavy hitters and sacrifice some of them and just make so much value come out of our deck and the creatures we have inside. To the instance, we have Village Rites. As an additional cost, cast a spell, sack a creature, draw 2. It doesn't have to be a creature we control or that we own. So, easy draw 2. Black Sun's Twilight, we pay X in black. Up to 1 target creature gets -X, -X. And if X was 5 or more, return a creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That's pretty sweet. Some recursion. Erebos' Intervention. Pay X in black. Target creature gets -X, -X until end of turn. You gain X life. Exile up to twice X target cards from graveyards. Pretty good. Thrill of Possibility. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. Draw 2. So we could discard Filth or some creatures and then bring them back. A Rakdos Charm. Exile target player's graveyard. Destroy target artifact. Each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. Go for the Throat. Destroy target non-artifact creature. Fling. As an additional cost to cast Fling, sacrifice a creature. Fling deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to target creature or player. We like that. Bedevil. Destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. Berserker's Frenzy. Oh look, roll a dice. Cast a spell only before combat or during combat before blockers are declared. Roll 2 d20s and ignore the lower. 1 through 14, choose any number of creatures they block this turn if able. 15 through 20, you choose which creatures block this turn and how they block. That's awesome. Valakut Awakening. Put any number of cards from your hand onto the bottom of your library, then draw that many cards plus 1. Or it's a tapped red mana source. So, totally up to you. Early game, I might, use it as a land. Will's Reversal. Oh look, roll a die. Choose target spell or ability with 1 or more targets. Roll a d20 and add the greatest power among creatures you control. 1 through 14, you may choose new targets for that spell or ability. 15 plus, you may choose new targets for that spell or ability, then copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. That's pretty awesome. Chaos Warp, classic. Someone puts something you don't like, Chaos Warp. The owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library, then reveals the top card of their library. If it's a permanent card, they put it on the battlefield. We can also do that to our stuff. Grave Endeavor. Oh, look, rolling dice. Roll 2 d10s and choose one result. Return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a number of 1/1 counters on it equal to that result. Then each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the other result. That's pretty sweet. Good luck rolling dice. Next up, the sorceries. We have Thud, told you. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature. It deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. Angrath's Rampage. Choose one. Target player sacrifices an artifact, a creature, or a planeswalker. Perforos Intervention. Choose one. You pay X and then red. Create an X1 red elemental creature token with trample and haste. Sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. So, say we make a 5/1 elemental, we can sacrifice that to some of our cards and draw 5 cards, or return something from our graveyard with 5 or more, or 5 or less. Totally up to you. Or, deals twice X damage to target creature or planeswalker. So, that's not too bad. The Wheel of Misfortune. Each player secretly chooses a number of 0 or greater. Then all players reveal those numbers simultaneously and determine the highest and lowest numbers revealed this way. Wheel of Misfortune deals damage equal to the highest number to each player who chose that number. Each player who didn't choose the lowest number discards their hand and draws 7 cards. Yeah, this is crazy. Enjoy. Diabolical Tutor lets you search your library for a card and then put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. It's an old one, it's 4 mana, but it's still not bad, and we're going to have lots of treasures and ways to discount this and copy it. We have our big sorcery. Hit the Motherlode, a 7-drop, which could be copied or discounted. Discover 10. If the discovered card's mana value was less than 10, create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to the difference. We're probably winning the game once we get this out, because then we'll have all kinds of mana for our next turn. And then we have here some theft. Who likes theft? Twisted Fealty. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste. Create a Wicked Roll token attached to up to 1 target creature. The Wicked Roll reads, enchanted creature gets +1/+1, and when the aura is put into a graveyard, each opponent loses 1 life. Take for a Ride has flash as long as you've committed a crime this turn, so targeting opponents, anything else they control, and or cards in their graveyards. Gain control of target creature until end of turn, untap it, it gains haste. Act of Treason. Gain control of target creature until end of turn, untap it, it gains haste. Hijack. Gain control of target artifact or creature. So this is a little bit, what do you want to call, dynamic. Untap it, gains haste till end of turn. Furnace Reigns. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, create a treasure token. So, that's pretty awesome. We're going to get lots of treasures. Traitorous Greed. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it, gains haste. Then add 2 mana of any one color. Yeah. Free 2 mana. It's almost like having 2 treasures that got immediately cracked. And then our board wipe. Blasphemous Act, just in case Rakdos doesn't get the job done. Spell cost 1 less for each creature on the battlefield, and it does 13 damage to each creature. Starts off with a 9-drop, but no one ever pays that. If they do, they lie. Now, the bonus cards for this deck. These are unstable, and I do have alternatives just in case. But we have Strategy Schmategy. Roll a 6-sided die. Strategy Schmategy has the indicated effect. 1, do nothing. 2, destroy all artifacts. 3, destroy all lands. 4, 3 damage to each creature and each player. 5, each player discards their hand and draws 7. 6, repeat this process 2 more times. Crazy. Clark's other thumb, if you would roll a die and instead roll 2 and ignore one of the results. Goblin Tutor, roll a 6-sided die. If you roll a 1, this has no effect. Otherwise, search your library for the indicated card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. 2. A card named Goblin Tutor. Not going to happen because this is Commander. 3. An enchantment. 4. An artifact. 5. A creature. 6. An instant or sorcery. We also have Boom Stacker. Enters the battlefield, and whenever it attacks, stack 2 dice on top of it. It gets a +1/+1 for each die in its stack, and it attacks each combat if able. When the stack falls, sacrifice it. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I can't wait to see what happens. And then we have the Pointy Finger of Doom. It's a 4-drop, pay 3, tap it, spin Pointy Finger of Doom in the middle of the table so that it rotates completely at least once. Then destroy the closest permanent to the finger. That's pretty crazy. I can't wait to try this out. Now, if your friends do not wish to play against Goofy unstable cards, these 5, I do have some other options. Also, this one's a sideboard. Sword of Dungeons and Dragons. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from rogues and clerics. Equipped creature deals combat damage to a player. Create a 4/4 gold dragon creature token with flying and roll a d20. And if you roll a 20, repeat this process. So that's pretty interesting, but I think it's kind of crazy. As for replacements for those 5 cards, you have options. I have thought about this guy that gives all of your opponent's things essentially haste against anyone but you. Explosion of Riches because it's kind of random. Rowdy Crew because it has a random effect. Gratuitous Violence because it deals double damage. Bloody Betrayal, it's another steel spell, but you get a blood token. Price of Loyalty, it's another steel spell that buffs a creature if you use the treasure to cast this. Awaken the Sleeper, it's a 4-drop steel spell, so I wasn't really that happy about it. Gain control of target creature until end of turn, untap it, gains haste, but if it's equipped, you may destroy all equipment attached to that creature. If we're going to steal it, we're going to want to keep all the equipment on it so we can do some serious damage, and then we'll just sacrifice it. So, Deadeye Tracker for some, cheap mana guys, but Control of the Court, 2-drop, draw 4, then discard 3 cards at random, just to keep the theme going, and a Warlock class. If you want to see the Warlock class, you can look it up. It's a lot of text to read. But essentially, it starts paying people. As for the lands, we got a boatload of swamps and a boatload of mountains. The stack's not that crazy. And then we have here, oh look, another dice roll. Underdark Rift. Pay 5, tap it, exile it. Roll a d10. Put target artifact, creature, or planeswalker into its owner's library just beneath the top X cards of that library, where X is the result. Activate as a sorcery. That's going to be so much fun to use. And then we have your usuals. Command Tower, Nesting Grounds, Terrain Generator, Shadowblood Ridge, Calvaron, Path of Ancestry, because we do have, demons, and Sulphurous Springs. So that's the deck. It's Rakdos, the Showstopper, and he is running the show. He's got a whole casino going, and there's gambling. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, scathing rebuttals, leave me a comment down below. But anyways, feel free to like the video. It helps the channel out. Also, feel free to stop in, say hi. I try to respond to all of my comments, and yeah, give me some ideas for next week. I got all kinds of decks. Give me a theme, and if I have the stuff, I'll make it. I got all kinds of cards to sift through still, so I'll see you next week.